this is about dating older men, right? Listen to this woman's story. Pay attention to the numbers, the ages that she lists, and then do the math.
Okay.
If you're a young girl and you're dating an older guy, please be careful and do not have kids until you're like almost 30. Really weigh out your options and date people closer to your age, because older people tend to be very manipulative and run game on you, and they play with your emotions and they drag you through the mud just because they know that you're more gullible and vulnerable. I've been with the same person since I was 16 years old. He is now 41 and I'm 26. We just had our 6th child back to back, okay? I'm one hell of a mom. I'm hands-on. I'm always home with them. I'm always the parent that's doing everything while he's out doing whatever. I just gave birth to our 6th child, and he literally did not come and support me through this traumatic experience. What? My father was here, and his reason was because I told him that he dogged me out during my entire pregnancy. He was not there. He was neglectful. No belly rubs, no bath, being ran, no consideration for my feelings, no empathy, no sympathy, no nothing. So he was like, finish it yourself.
Stokey heard it.
I heard
like,
16,
you don't care about your son coming into the world and him being healthy and okay. And he's like, no, you can name whatever you want. I don't care. And I'm 26. I dedicated my whole life to wanting to be a good mom, giving him all of these kids because he didn't have kids when, first got together. He was like 30 something, 32, 33.
31.
What?
And I'm still gonna be one hell of a mom.
She was 16, he was 31.
No, that's not
But
okay.
it fucking hurts. Like, it do. But life goes on, and this is not the end of the world for me. I'm hoping that sometime later down the line, because I don't want a relationship anytime soon, that I find a good person that can see the value in all of this, because people like to be very judgmental about situations like this. But if you're a young female, please date within your age and don't give up your life so easy. Although I don't regret it for the sake of my kids are amazing and very fucking smart, and very close. If I could go back, I would have chose somebody closer to my age that wouldn't have dragged me through the mud like he has. And there's just been a lot more to it.
Okay, but a couple things though.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there.
Okay, she said they've been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
They started when she was 16, she's 26, he's 41.
Damn.
Which means he was 31 at the time she was 16, okay? So it's a 15-year age difference. 15 years, I mean, in LA, that's pretty common though. But just not that young. Not at fucking 16.
Look, 26, her frontal lobe, I say this all the time, still not developed. That's crazy. 10 years with that person?
Well, she has 6 babies.
6 babies, though?
And she talking about leaving this dude? Where the fuck you going?
Bro, also, no.
No, hold on.
You heard her dad was there. So
no, but I'm just saying, where's she gonna go? Because what dude is gonna be like, hey, Janessa, nice to meet you.
6 babies.
Hey, I have 6 kids. Oh, really? Good luck with that shit.
I mean, do they live with you would be my follow-up question. No?
It doesn't matter where they live. You have 6.
Yeah, but I just don't want to be there when they're there. So we can kiki around that. That's crazy though. 16, she's only 26, 6 kids later.
I didn't know he was 31. She was 16. Yeah, but guess what?
That is predatorial.
Okay, yeah, but that might not be illegal because the age of consent in some states is 16. You see what I'm saying?
We've done so much research.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, we have, so we know that.
So depending on what state that is, that's not illegal. Now,
it's not, but it always comes back to this. Is it fucking right?
No, it's not right.
It's you're manipulating. Yeah.
But those states got to change the laws because it's really up to them. You know what I mean? Like y'all got to change the laws and stop that shit.
I just think until you're in your late 20s, you're like so easily more manipulated because you don't have that many like life lessons behind you and everything.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with someone dating like. No,
okay. Once you pass honestly, once you pass 25, 26, you want to date older. I think you're enough of a person to know yourself to not get as manipulated. But
my thing is this: even if you're 31 and she's, 18 is still close. But let's say she's 21. To me, 21 is like, okay, whatever.
That's a little better because now you...
Even if the dude's 70 and she's 21, they're still an adult. You might not think it's a fully developed adult, but it is an adult. But 16 is, dude, that's fucking...
I'm not that far away
that's
from
some wild
21.
Shit.
But like if someone goes, oh, I'm 21, I still look at them and go, oh, a baby, they're still learning. So I don't know how someone else who's older, and I'm not that much older than that, but like older than me would have a thought about a 16-year-old being like, yeah, I should date that. Because if I'm looking at 21-year-olds at my age now and being like, they're babies, if a 16-year-old tried to hit on me, I'd be like, oh, absolutely fucking not. Where is your mom? Where's your dad?
16-year-olds ain't even sexy, though. They ain't developed.
That's what I'm saying. That too.
Shit ain't even ready yet, boy. That shit,
Red
leave
flags.
that fuck in the oven a little longer. Let it brown up.
He has a point. That's not the way to say it, but he has a point.
The fact that the parents didn't stop it is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, now they should help you take care of your 6 kids.
Stokey, let's be clear.
What?
That's probably a religious family. That could also be a very religious family where they marry young and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah. The good news is she's 26. She's probably done having kids. So, she's probably going to bounce back really quickly. And she could still change a lot about her life if she wanted to.
Bozak, I have a word for you. Janessa, let me be the first to tell you, women in their 40s are as easily manipulated as ones in her early 20s if they like the guy. Yeah. Very true.
Because you can't be out here and be a dumb person. Like, don't be dumb. Don't let people use you.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut.
Okay, this woman's talking about older guys as well. So I got a couple older guys thing.
When I was 24 years old, I started dating guys in their 30s, and this is what I found. First, I would just like to emphasize that age does not equal compatibility. People love to say that age gap relationships will never work because what do you have in common with somebody X amount of years older or younger than you? It doesn't matter. Science has shown that age has nothing to do with whether or not you're able to establish a connection with somebody. Will people shit on you because society has some strange ideas about gender gap relationships? Sure, but their beliefs have no actual basis. The thing about older people is that different things tend to be more important to them. For example, they might be prioritizing their health, spending time with their family, spending time on their hobbies. They tend to have more responsibilities to others, including their job, and more responsibilities to themselves. And I think that a lot of times because of this, they may struggle with balancing a romantic relationship in the midst of everything else going on in their lives. Not everyone's good at time management, and a lot of people realize they can't prioritize as many things as they would like to. They also tend to be further along in their career, obviously because they're older, but this also means, like I said, that they have more responsibility, but also more stress, and their job can often take up more of their time. Especially in New York, people here are so career-oriented and constantly hustling. And a lot of women don't seem to mind if a guy is working a lot as long as they're bringing home the bank. But if you're like me and quality time is your love language, maybe that doesn't really work out for you. Older men also tend to have more relationship experience, which is great because they've had opportunities to learn from their mistakes, learn a couple of things about what it means to be a good partner, learn more about themselves, learn what they like and what they don't like. But it also means they've had more time to be traumatized by their relationships. Yes, it means they've had time to work on themselves, but it also means they have had time to accumulate new trauma. You need to date somebody who's willing to work on themselves. You need to date somebody who has worked on themselves. I find that generally I do still prefer to date older men. However, it does not always end up working out, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have their shit together more.
Yes, it does not mean the older guys have their shit together. That's all I'm gonna agree on there. Like,
more older men have their shit together than younger guys.
I don't know, not in California, okay? No, they don't. Not in California.
Why? Okay,
they're
why
out
did you
here,
say?
They're out here being 44, acting like they're 28 still.
Yeah, but it means
having 2 kids, 3 kids, acting like you're 28, you're 44. Your divorce isn't even finalized. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, hold on now.
And also, what is it?
Hold on now. You gotta
That's my opinion. It's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it.
You gotta put stuff in perspective though. Like, you gonna have more mature, like a 50-year-old dude's gonna have his shit together a lot more than the average 25-year-old dude.
You would hope so, right?
I mean, there's gonna be exceptions.
But you would think that that's the fucking case.
There's gonna be exceptions.
Yeah, some of them do. Not everyone.
There's gonna be exceptions.
Look, if you're not going out of your way to go meet younger girls or chase younger girls or younger guys, whatever your preference is, you're probably fine. You're probably just running into someone that vibes with you.
Bozak called it, after all that, I still prefer to date older men. Women are
I do. I think younger men are like fun. Like, not super young, 26 is the lowest, but like at least they still want to go out and can stay up all night, you know?
But let me ask you this question, because I don't know
It's
if
like they're ready for some fun, exciting
I don't know if I've asked you this before, but earlier we were talking about like science and all this sort of stuff, right? If someday, and it's gonna happen at some point, there will be a time when you could take a pill or something and, you know, it would take you back to like your peak. Let's say your peak was 25, right?
I think...
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
your peak. So everybody on planet Earth looks 25-year-old.
Damn.
Okay, everybody's 25. They have the 25-year-old body, right? And fit, because you know there's gonna be pills you could take to fucking help your muscles. And everybody 25 fit. Would you date a dude who's 85 years old right now, as like, and you're 30?
Do they still drink?
They do it, yeah, like they're still at their 85, he's 85.
But he doesn't look 85.
No, he looks 25.
And I'm still 30.
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Everyone looks 25.
So we've just stopped aging.
You just stop aging,
But
yes.
I am 30 technically.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know?
Just because of my mindset now where I'm at.
Or you're 25.
He's almost prehistoric. It's like having a built-in fucking documentary living with you. You can ask him so many questions.
Yeah, because he would have been there.
Yeah, exactly. What was the world wars like? Like, tell me some shit.
Tell us about the Trump years. What was that like?
Like, bro, come on. You could have some really interesting conversations. And if looking at someone is not the factor anymore because they look good still, I would do it. It could be fun to talk to. Hey, why not?
I'm glad you like it, kid. I'm glad you like it. I'm just saying, like it would be, that would be really. I don't know if I'd want to date a 100-year-old woman though.
Bro, she's gonna outsmart the shit out of you.
I know, because if she's 20,
she looks 25, but she got knowledge of a 100-year-old
yes.
woman.
Ooh, boy, that's some deadly
No one's
shit.
disrespecting a grandma. You just don't look like a grandma anymore.
Yeah.
So she will put everyone in their place.
Yeah, that is gonna be wild.
That might be the scariest one.
Okay, all right.
And she's still hot. Yikes. Oh my god.